Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Nate Need.
Welcome to another episode of the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Today's topic is an interesting one, and one that is oft repeated and definitely not ignored, and one that you're probably curious about yourself, and that is why websites may not rank. And we've discussed this before in previous podcasts, but there's and can be a big difference between whether your website is actually indexed and whether it's ranking. And both indexing and ranking are two very different things. Google indexes most of the websites, even the brand new websites that are out there, but they may not rank those websites particularly for high authority key terms that people are paying for and that users want to see, at least not initially. And we'll go through here in a second maybe some possible reasons why your website may not be ranking. But one of the main reasons, especially for new startups and new websites, is that your website just is too new. People will call it the Google sandbox effect, where a website is kind of suppressed. Its rankings are suppressed. Even though it's in the index, its rankings might be suppressed for maybe a year or more. And that is very true. They call it the sandbox. I prefer to refer to it as the delayed link effect, where you might have a website that is brand new, and you might slowly and advisably do it very slowly. Look for some links and brand mentions to that website from other quality websites within your niche or even outside your niche, and find some good reference points and build some great links. And you may even look and say, hey, look at this website that's ranking on page 1 for XYZ key term that's really competitive in my niche, and even their homepage doesn't have the domain authority that I have after 6 months. Well, that website may have been around for 5 years. And one of the bigger parts of the algorithm is the authority of a website is so often based on how long it's been around. And so that's my first big thing that I'll just say at the outset, is that if your website is new and it's not ranking, you're usually just it's a time issue. It just takes time. And unfortunately, if I were Google, I would do the same thing. It's not that they're trying to punish websites, but what they're trying to do is avoid flash in the pan, crazy tactics that will quickly scale up a website's traffic. And then, they don't want some willy-nilly guy to rank for car insurance, that as a search term overnight. And so they will suppress and make sure that all the right signals are in place over a very long period of time. In fact, a lot of times what we'll see is it may take usually 12, 18, 24, 36 months at times for those high authority, really money terms that people are paying high value clicks for. It takes a long time. And so that's one of the reasons our engagements actually last much longer than 6 months. In most cases, they're 12 months plus, to make sure that the client knows that this is not a short-term endeavor. It's a long-term play, and we measure our success in months and years, not days and weeks. If you want days and weeks success, then you got to pay to play. You got to get on the SEM bandwagon and start paying per click and get the traffic driven immediately. So that's my first caveat. Now that's a long-winded answer, but let's go through some of the other reasons why your website might not have be ranked. We've discussed a little bit about indexing. My guess is that if you've submitted to Google Search Console, you probably are indexed. If you're a new website, that's probably, again, your biggest reason for not being ranked. You could have had a Google manual or algorithmic penalty attached to your website. You can check Google Search Console if you're there to see if that manual penalty has been issued. It's a really quick, easy check. It's on the left-hand sidebar. If not, and your website may have seen a drop in rankings, then that's more likely an issue related to maybe some on and off site elements, which we have and we'll discuss even further in other upcoming episodes. You may have and be going after really competitive keywords, and you think that you should be ranked because your content might be better. But look, if you're going after high authority head related keywords, then it's going to be very difficult to do that quickly. We've talked a little bit about negative SEO. My guess is that in most cases you're probably not experiencing it, and if you are, Google can see that it's a negative SEO campaign, and it's likely not doing anything to hurt you. In most cases, negative SEO is not a thing. It is, but it has less of an impact than most people freak out and think about. One reason that you may not be ranking is that you don't have any good inbound links. You haven't spent time promoting yourself, building the links that you need to actually grow the presence of your link profile online and get that diverse link profile. And so you probably need to get some more inbound links, and that's a big part of improving your SEO. Backlink metrics, there is a direct correlation between both the quantity and quality of backlinks that you are able to procure to both that and your website ranking. So if you don't have links, you need to get them. If your content is thin and not optimized for the keywords, obviously you don't want to stuff the keywords, but you do want your content to include them. Your page load speed may be really slow. So if you have a slow loading website, chances are that it may not rank as well. I've seen some indications where that may not be the case, particularly if the content is really good. But in most cases, slow loading websites means higher bounce rates, which you do not want. And perhaps you're a little outdated on your design. There could be some design elements related to the reason that you're not ranking, but my guess is that most of it's a timing thing, as we've discussed. If you're having issues with your website ranking, we'd love to have a chat with you. That this is the shameless self-promotion plug. If not, we'd love to hear from you as well, and still learn about what you'd like to hear from us on the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Until next time, this is Nate Need signing out.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.